Good afternoon, I'm TheZOMBIEJ. Excuse me. Before we get on to the topic at hand, I want to show you something I got in the mail today. It's Toa Aniwa Metru. Had to realign one of the gears so that it's perfectly works. And he has the wrong eye color, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure I still have my original eye stalk from my original copy, but thought about getting one of the 2004 Toa Metru, and because it's the 20th anniversary of these characters. Oh, there's a crack in the bushing, god damn it. But yeah, this is cool. Nostalgia. Put you right there, Aniwa. Now, to put in context for today's rant, that was an original Bionicle set from G1, as well as this. Holly, one of the 2003 Matoran, which I do need to get the rest of, actually, like Maku, for example. And this is Gali, Uniter, or Gali, Master of Water. This is SCCBS. And this is the original construction system. So, you can definitely understand that the evolution of construction was definitely, had some, like, it was a mixed bag, you know, either you love it or hate it. I think that's pretty much the attitude with SCCBS. You either love it or hate it. I love SCCBS, I thought it's great. I have incredible nostalgia for the original system, though, and this is pretty freaking awesome. This, for Bionicle, SCCBS, didn't cater well with, like, people didn't, some folks didn't care for Bionicle being a SCCBS line with G2. And, well, this led to some scathing comments on various message boards and threads and whatnot. Oh, sorry, that was my elbow that popped. So, and yeah, people are like, some people were like, yeah. Yeah, so basically, G2 Bionicle was Hero Factory parts. Yeah, well, get over it. It's what they had. It's what they felt like using. So there you go. I actually like the G2 aesthetic. And, yeah, there's that. So, for SCCBS to be a thing, it's kind of an interesting system. It's CCBS for system sets. That's why there's an S at the beginning before SCCBS. So SCCBS stands for System, Character, and Creature Building System. Notice the repetition of the system, the word system in there. But yeah, it's interesting. So basically you got the toe ball joints, the little tiny Mixels ball joints. I hated the Mixels. They were ugly as shit. Ugly as sin. Fuck the Mixels. But the building style with that, I came along with those, with the ball joints, you know, with the little mechs that are made for the superhero figures, you know, those $10 mechs. I got one Wolverine for a mech for, like, it wasn't even $10. It was like $13. I was lied to about the price, but then again, yeah. Anyway, point is, SCCBS is definitely a, it seems like it's the direction, the system that LEGO is going with for any sort of action figure-like things, like with the mechs, as well as characters like the Iron Man, Wolverine, Venom, Spider-Man. They've got a few more of those big buildable action figures that still have ratchet joints, but mostly rely on the toe ball joints, and yeah, there's that. So, for Bionicle G3 to potentially use SCCBS as it did with the Tahoe and Takua promotional set from last year, I feel like it can work, but there's obviously going to be those purists who do not believe that SCCBS, that Bionicle as an SCCBS line would work. It's not the original construction. Yeah, well, get over it, because we're not getting original construction back, you morons. Fuck off. I'm a firm believer in the original construction. You know, which started with Robo Riders and Slice Earth Robots, you know, that stuff. And Bionicle G1. First wave of Hero Factory. Then, yeah, obviously, you know, CCBS came out, and it was a great system for what it was able to accomplish. The designers really did a lot of interesting things. A little simple, yeah, you got all these simplistic styled armor shells and whatnot, but it's a fun system to work with, and I love it. It's great. But it's probably more beneficial for LEGO to go with system parts instead of going back to recreating old molds, which they have destroyed, I think. That's a topic for another video. And you know, with basically what they were showcasing with the promo set from last year, Tahoe and Takua, it's basically showcasing what a potential G3 could look like in terms of you know, sets with the toe ball joints, the Mixels joints, and the system, the bricks, layers, and whatnot. It could all work, obviously, with printed pieces to form the mask. But it could work as long as people are willing to believe in this system, and as well as long as people are willing to buy into it. You know, you have to give it a chance, you know, honestly. And if you don't give it a chance, you just ignore it, you're missing out, to be honest. So that's kind of a moronic thing of you to miss out on SCCBS stuff. Now, obviously, there's some stuff from SCCBS that I've not gotten because, well, just didn't really piqued my interest. There were a few sets, like, again, the Wolverine mech and the Tahoe and Takua promo, but get with purchase. And, of course, the big, tall, buildable construction figures. Those are all great, and I've seen pics, and I've seen reviews of all these freaking mechs and whatnot that are using the SCCBS system, and it all looks pretty good. It all looks, well, obviously there's some design choices that could be improved, but that's something mockists can work with, I think, can work around. But SCCBS, based on my kind of minuscule experience with SCCBS, I kind of like it. Honestly, I do. I look at the Tahoe and Takua set, I'm thinking, this could work. I can get into Bionicle G3 as a SCCBS line if LEGO is willing to actually do it. If they're willing to actually put effort into the sets. I want a Gali. I want a Toa Gali, obviously Mata style, but in system form. And I feel like they can do that. So, and if they do the G3 style, the promo style of build, the gift with purchase build, I feel like they could reissue the Tahoe one, at least by himself. And obviously reissue, or well, issue the other 5 TOA by themselves as well, in their own separate boxes, or even canisters. At the very least, canisters that are made of cardstock, you know, length of tube, and plastic caps, you know, that might be interesting. Obviously, the Matoran can be released as separate little smaller boxed sets, same thing, or like poly bags, or even the Turaga could be redone as well and done as either poly bags or small boxes. And also Rahi beasts. I've seen some interesting creations, or system creations, where there were you taking this style that was done with Tahu and Takua and magnifying it with creations like the Boxor vehicle or the Rahi from 2001, the Exotoa. You know, I've seen all this, and it looks. The things that people come up with is just fascinating to me. The idea that Bionicle G3, in the form of system, with the toe ball joints obviously, in 2025, which is next year, if that's when Bionicle G3 comes out, in the form of SCCBS, it's an interesting idea, and I feel like it's one that'll work. Even if they have to release like a nostalgia line strictly for, you know, Bionicle fans, I guess. But there has to be a market for Bionicle. Obviously there is, because people are still creating things like resin casts and 3D prints and whatnot. You know, and obviously ABS plastic is being used for Bionicle masks. I watched a Skybird video, and he showed off some parts that were done, including the original mask of shielding. And all of this is just pretty freaking awesome. Cannon contests are obviously, they're flawed, but at the same time, the cannon contests really do bring a sort of engages fans a little bit. The canon appearance for Artaka, there's a lot of complexity to that mock. This big freaking Titan guy, and I honestly agree with the mask of creation that is used. It's the G1 mask of creation. That's the canon version of it. That's the canon look for it. I like it. And honestly, I like the look of Artaka. It looks freaking awesome. Anyway, SCCBS sounds like a good idea. But on paper, but in practice, will it succeed? We'll have to see. At least for Bionicle. If Bionicle came next year as a SCCBS line, I feel like it could succeed as long as the marketing is strong, the marketing is aggressive. You know, you have to be able to push these products onto the buyers and actually give people the incentive to buy these sets, especially children who like Lego sets and who didn't give in to G2, unfortunately. But I feel like a strong marketing campaign for a Bionicle G3 in the form of SCCBS could work as long as they're willing to go through with it. The problem lies in the fan base. You know who I'm talking about. The fan base, some of the fans out there who are purists, who purely stick to, especially the ones that stick to, you know, classic construction and reject CCBS, and you know, the ones who refuse to buy systems sets and just kind of just move on with their lives and whatnot. You know, nothing else is going to satisfy them more than G1 sets. And while I can understand preferences, I personally prefer G1 over G2, but I recognize the appeal to G2, and I recognize I recognize its flaws. Obviously, it's not the greatest CCBS line, but it's got great parts. CCBS definitely is a fun system to work with. It's just some of these purists laughing in our faces, saying, you know, basically that LEGO is tricking us into buying CCBS. And, you know, to the people who say those kind of things on the message boards over in 2016, when Bionicle was canned twice now, you people are absolutely insane and irrelevant nowadays because, well, Bionicle is still being continued by fans, at least, by the dedicated fans. There are some passionate fans out there who are really dedicating their lives to Bionicle. And creating fan art, fan stories, you know, canon contests, like I said, those are flawed, but still nice to see actual canon representations of characters that we didn't get for some reason, like Helrix and the Toa Haga, except for Norik and Iruni, because those were we already had those basically. So what else is there left to say about the topic of SCCBS? I think it's a decent system. I think it's the best that we're going to get from LEGO. They're not going to bring back stuff like CCBS. They're not going to bring back the original stuff, so don't cry about it. I mean, come on. Don't be a whiny, complainy pussy. Just accept the fact that LEGO is all about bricks at this point. And if ball joints are thrown in there to add some sort of value or fun to the set, well, there you go. That's what they're gonna do. It's just when they bring in like minifigure versions of the Toa sets, like what TTV has had concept art for and whatnot, that I don't like their ideas at all. But you know, there's definitely some interesting stuff out there, and if G3 happens, I will most definitely buy the sets. I have both the system Bionicle Tahu sets that we got. Once with the classic massive anniversary set, the little cursed Tahu mini build, and the promo set, whatever it's called, Tahu and Takua. So anyway, that's enough rambling. I talked long enough in this video, so I really do hope that Bionicle comes back next year as SCCBS, because I feel like it can work as long as LEGO is willing to put in the most amount of effort possible, you know. But the dollar is definitely these companies nowadays just seem to be seeing dollar signs, and that's all they care about. I still feel Bionicle can be successful even here in 2024. There's a fan game called Masks of Power that looks pretty fucking awesome. And I feel like if Bionicle comes back next year, it will most likely be a success, at least with fans, for the most part. Except for the people who denounce it. So there you go. That's all I have to say about all that. Stay tuned for more videos. I got another rant coming along soon. And, yeah. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later. Have a good fucking day, and peace.